13 minutes late. Sorry about that, guys. Whew. Getting kids settled down is not easy. Oh, well. Anyway, we're here. How you doing, Vex? How you doing, Madness? Let's see who else we got here. How you doing, Scar and Secret Audits? Hello. Let's see here. See if everyone's seeing this now. I know my sound's going... Well, is it? Yeah, it's good. Hello. See if everyone... There we go. Alrighty. What's this? Definitely gonna...
The way that all of...
Let's see. Oh, Redhead Libertarian? Her take on Charlie? Yeah, absolutely. I'll watch that. Why did she... Wait, what the heck? Why does she only have 11,000 subscribers? What is this channel? What the heck? On YouTube, she's only got 11,000 subs? Really? That's weird. Isn't she got, like, millions on X? Hold on. She's got, like, almost 1 million followers on X. Why does she only have an 11,000, like... What's going on with that? How do you only have 11,000 on your channel? What's going on? Yeah, this is her. Uploads all of the time. What? How's that possible? Timcast, Liberty, and Things How Revolutionary History. I'm so confused. I'm genuinely confused. She's only got 26,000 views on her entire channel.
The way that
backup?
all of...
Huh. That's so weird. She didn't upload much? Oh. So does she... Is her thing just... What does she... Like, what does she do on Timcast? Is she just a guest? Or does she actually work for him in some way, shape, or form? I see her on every now and then. What does she do? Host spaces with Josie, Timcast, okay. I literally have been following her for years on X. She's always one of my go-to followers. Am I following her here? Yeah, I'm following her here. So, yeah, that's so weird. I just assumed she had like a 250,000 to 500,000 view YouTube channel. There's no way, like, she could genuinely just spam her channel there and get, like, YouTube ad revenue, like, for free just uploading there. You know what I mean? That's odd. No. Yeah, maybe she doesn't play by YouTube's rules as well as a lot of us other people do, I guess. You know, and that's, you know, to each their own. I don't blame people. I genuinely don't blame anybody for, you know, not wanting to play by YouTube's rules. I just don't mind as much because most of the time, most rules on here are a little bit more family friendly. There's just a few things that I go out of my way to do because if I had a full audience on Rumble, I wouldn't be really streaming to YouTube. You know what I mean? But Rumble's just, I don't really grow there. And I used to absolutely like, well, actually not used to. I'm streaming on Rumble right now. I just don't get people ever checking me out on Rumble organically. So that tells me, even though, let's say I could get every one of you guys over to Rumble, that'd be great. But then my audience would never grow again. You know what I mean? Like, it just wouldn't grow because I can't organically be found on Rumble at all. I can organically be found on YouTube. So that's just why I've been doing what I've been doing. Rumble's not for small creators. Kick and Twitch also are not for small creators at all, which is weird. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't understand that at all. It's such a, I don't know how to say it other than like, it's just such a waste of time for people to even try anymore on those platforms. Some people can do it. You know what I mean? Some people, if they get right out the gate and they're really, really, really high quality, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Oh, no. That's not what I mean. Like, how would I put it? I'm not saying that it's actually kid or family friendly. What I'm saying is there rules for creators like me. It pretty much require me to be that way. You know what I mean? So they treat, right-wing commentators a lot worse than anybody else on this platform. If you're left-wing, you can kind of do a lot more, or not kind of, it is kind of. They can kind of do more than a right-wing person. Left-wing people still do get held to a lot of standards, so they don't get nearly as much leeway as they were getting like back in 2016, 2017, 2018. Over COVID, they really actually started cracking down on the left wing. It's really weird. I was really surprised with that, to be honest. But they still get a little bit more freedoms than right-wing people. Then everybody else gets to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? For the most part. Except for true crime and horror as well. Horror and true crime, they kind of get stuck in that same camp too. And, sucks for them. Which is why a lot of them end up on the right side of the politics. Because, they're covering true crime, first of all. They're obviously anti-crime, and Democrats are pro-crime, so, go figure. And then you got the horror channel that, a lot of horror channels out there, that, obviously, they're getting hit by the YouTube system, and that's going to push them over to the right a little bit more as well. Yeah, Candace was fired from all her jobs, absolutely. Anyway, we'll watch some Redhead Libertarian here coming up. We're already here with the Candace. I'll put that on pause. What did Josie say? It's only a 2-minute clip. I don't mind what she says, so,
these assassinations happen, whether it's JFK, whether it's MLK, or it's RFK. They're all framed exactly the same. There was a lone gunman, he was at some kind of distance. It happened in public, so then there's a lot of issues with the discernment about that. And, oh my God, the lunatic pulled it off. This is the way it was for every single one of those.
I know she's editing breaths out in between because of how quick that edit was in between her actual sentence, but man, you gotta line those up a little better,
But because of assassination history in this country,
see, look at that. She's editing out breaths there, but it's not worth editing like that much of the breath out like that.
Or the way that they say it is the first time. So it's okay to have an open mind. Maybe there was some CIA involvement. Mm-hmm. Maybe there was another country involved.
You're right. I mean, as the story develops, you get more information that actually complicates the official narrative a little more.
Does she have like a channel that's like called Her Take now? Between her, some other lady, I take it she's probably a conservative, and then that's going to be a leftist? Is that real? That's like one of the most brilliant things they could have done. Her Take. I'm going to look that up.
Now, I will say, so far,
it's a great alternative to the talk.
No hard evidence linking Israel to Charlie Kirk's assassination. I think the reason why those conspiracy theories arise is because of Netanyahu's behavior immediately after the assassination happened, right? Where he's, again, using that for his own political purposes. In fact, I remember him doing an interview where he blamed the marriage of radical Islam and radical leftists, which, I mean, what are you doing? Like, what? Like, stay out of it. Like, stay out of our country. Like, we're in a moment of trauma right now.
Personally, and I say this as somebody who...
Yeah, it is really annoying because, see, when something happens in, like, Australia and stuff, we typically go, Second Amendment wouldn't have, would have solved that. But when we have, like, an assassination or something like that happen here, every single country, like, pours in. You know what I mean? Every single country pours in all at the same time, and they all tell us what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing for the most part. And we have the opposite take. We're like, hey, maybe you should give your people some freaking freedom. You know what I mean? It's like, let the people decide what they're going to do in the moment. You know what I mean? Let the people kind of handle it. And it's just funny to see it because then you have all these other countries dogpiling you, telling, like, restrict everybody. And it's just like, man, how did we get to that point? How did we get to that point in history? You know what I mean? It's kind of wild. But yeah, I mean, Netanyahu, I don't know. It's just every single country. Doesn't matter who it is. It's also every single Middle Eastern countries I don't think care. I think they kind of are pretty happy whenever some sort of tragedy takes place in the U.S., to be honest. But that's beside the point. I was going to say, I don't remember a Middle Eastern country doing that. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. There's a good reason why. There's a really good reason why they don't give a crap when a tragedy happens here. They're like, cool, they're cracking a beer open to that one, you know what I mean? Or, whatever. What do they drink? Yeah, meat juice or something? I don't know. What do they drink over there? I genuinely don't know. I guess it would be wine, wouldn't it? Don't they have like a big wine culture over there? I think. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I love Charlie. Charlie was my friend. It's still hard for me to talk about him. Like, I still get choked up when I think about him and have to talk about it. I don't believe if it was Tyler, which it could be, he is innocent until proven guilty. We do live in America.
Right.
If it was him, I don't believe personally that he acted alone. I'd like to know more about the Discord chat.
mean,
there
that's
always
obvious.
seems to be somebody feeding some information. Therefore, I don't believe the motive.
Right.
I don't believe
think
the
anybody
motive
believes
was
he acted
trans, woke,
Like, who believes
furry,
he acted
like,
alone?
I just don't believe that. And I don't believe Charlie's best friends were involved, and that was something that Candace had brought up, so I would critique her on that. I think that her digging into this came from initially a very, very good place. She really wanted to find out who murdered her friend, and I want to know. I want the truth. I want justice as well. But it became sensationalism. And
Hello, mister.
to me, Charlie's not ratings bait. Charlie isn't ratings bait to me.
Hello, Wombat. Yeah, I agree with the Redhead Libertarian. I absolutely agree. So, we'll see. We'll see what pans out after this trial. I mean, what else can we do? Not really much we can do here. Let me go ahead and get this going. I gotta make sure I don't end up on this stinking song here. Okay. What the?
All
Okay.
right, you guys, happy Friday.
Can you guys hear
I
that
just
well?
want to start by saying that it's pretty obvious that Ben Shapiro is terrified. We can all see that now that Charlie
God.
Kirk is dead. He seems to be taking multiple stages and demanding an allegiance to Erica Kirk. In fact, it almost seems like he's demanding that nobody inquire further about Erica Kirk.
I actually have no idea, to be
Because
honest.
Ben had no allegiance to Charlie Kirk when he was alive. So what is it about Charlie's widow in particular that is inspiring his very public nervous breakdown?
No idea.
Personally, I think he knows something about her. That is what I am sensing, that he knows something about Erica Kirk. And every time he speaks, I grow more
She's got a turtleneck on and a sweater. It's an interesting
certain
combination, I
that
guess.
Israel might be involved with 9/10. So let's keep investigating. Welcome back to Candace.
That was close. Let's see.
Ben Shapiro just keeps calling my name out on stage. He's calling for me, and I'd like to show
Like, what do you think there might be a reason, Candace? Why do you ham this up? You know exactly why he's calling you out, okay? You're calling out people. He's calling you out for calling out people. I mean, this is unbelievable.
up for him today. Okay, last night he hit the stage at Turning Point USA's AmFest the other night. And I'd like, first and foremost, just to let you all know, some people noticed that he wasn't on the AmFest list for years, and all of a sudden he's back on the speaker list beginning in 2024. I want to let you know how that actually happened.
I'm sure you're going to know exactly how that happened, aren't you, Candace? She happens to know exactly how this went down, even though she hasn't been involved with TPUSA for at least 2 years. I mean, that's wild for her to say, I know what happened. I'm willing to bet Ben Shapiro and TPUSA probably know what happened a little bit more than you do. Oh.
So the story goes, obviously, that in 2024, Ben fired me in March. Well, he would say management fired me. But firing me wasn't enough. He wanted to make sure my reputation and livelihood was also destroyed. Of course, what happened thereafter is Charlie Kirk instantly came out and supported me because we were like brother and sister, always supporting each other publicly.
Which is why you chose to go work at the Daily Wire instead of with TPUSA. But yeah, okay.
And then I showed you guys a few episodes ago that we found out as I was going to speak in Dallas at their YWLS convention that Ben had sent an intern who was going to ask me a question while I was on stage, but we sort of rumbled this plan. And
It does look very close to a hijab, though, doesn't it?
I called Ben out on stage. Ben did not like that I called him out on stage, so he began working behind the scenes to have Jewish donors start threatening Charlie to make sure that I wasn't invited to speak at year-end because I was an anti-Semite. This is what Charlie told me. And instead, he wanted to be invited. So he's just going to purchase a friendship, right? So he comes at Turning Point USA, and this is what was divulged to me from Andrew Colvett at the time, willing to spend an offensive amount of money to be a part of AmFest. Like I said, that was told to me by Andrew Colvett direct.
And let me guess. They turned it down, all that money, for him to speak at AmFest.
Because he wanted to say, look, like, obviously, we are totally, Charlie's 100% on your side. This is like an offensive ad spend. I was like, take his money. I could care less, obviously. And I knew that he was working with Barry Weiss to call and put an article out saying that the donors, the people on the board of TPUSA want Candace gone. All of this petty behind the scenes behavior because I called him out on stage.
You notice that she's just making the rounds with every single person, like, in the space on right-wing. You know, I'm not going to be surprised if somehow Sargon of Akkad comes up. Anybody want to know where I want to know where Sargon of Akkad was on September 10th and September 9th and September 8th, just in case, you know. I think everybody in this chat should go comment on Sargon's page, on his X or his YouTube channel, preferably probably his YouTube channel, and comment on all his videos saying, where were you September 10th? You know? Because now I think he's a suspect at this point. Why not? Sargon of Akkad. We'll just target him.
Okay. So quite literally, this is the definition of buying friends and influence and fame. Now, in case you're listening and thinking, is Ben Shapiro actually capable of that level of pettiness? I'm going to tell you a story about Thomas Sowell. Yes, Dr. Thomas Sowell of Stanford.
Okay.
The story begins in 2023, shortly after October 7th. You know, Ben was sort of having another one of his open nervous breakdowns, and his audience just...
I hope I can make a thumbnail. It'll be a badge of honor. I really do. I hope that somehow she implicates me and puts me on up there. That'd be hilarious. That'd be the best thing in the world, to be honest.
Stopped watching his podcast because he was screaming at Americans that we needed to prioritize Israel, and people just didn't feel that way. Okay, it's not our country. I'm sorry that happened to you, but why do Americans need to be screamed at about what's happening in the Middle East? Anyways, throughout this time, Brian Mast was wearing an IDF uniform in Congress, and he basically said that there's no such thing as an innocent Palestinian life. And when I saw this, as shared by Yashar Ali on X, I responded and I said that genocidal language, no matter who shares it, is always wrong. Genocide is always wrong is what I tweeted, and this caused an emotional breakdown amongst people who support Israel. I didn't think that was a controversial statement. I thought that was sort of what we all believed in. Genocide is always wrong. Anyways, for Ben, he then had some private event, probably at another Jew.
She wants to take that out of context, so let's put this in context then. She said, genocide is always wrong, huh? Well, let's see. Let's see if that's actually what she said, and let's see where that tweet is. All right. Yeah, okay. Let's see. I will never forgive Zionists. They absolutely appalling scum of the earth approach of watching a man be murdered and then climbing onto his body like maggots fighting to lie about who he was. There is no truth in these people. That sounds like genocidal language. Huh. This, I mean, it kind of sounds like it to me. Let's see, where is it? This is accurate. Let's see. No government anywhere has the right to commit a genocide ever. There's no justification for a genocide. I can't believe this even needs to be said or is even considered the least bit controversial to state. Okay. You didn't tag him in it. What are you talking about? What is she talking about? Where was this tweet? Where was this at? Yeah, exactly. Why isn't she talking about any of those other genocides? The biggest open-air prison in the world is Balochistan. It's controlled by Pakistan. It's kind of wild. She doesn't talk about that at all. It's the biggest one. You think the biggest one would probably, make her radar. Who else was it? Was there? Who was it that commented on it? Like, hold on. Where? Let me see.
Support Israel. I didn't think that was a controversial statement. I thought that was.
Yeah.
Anyways, throughout this time, Brian Mast was wearing an IDF uniform in Congress, and he basically said that there's no such thing as an innocent Palestinian life.
All right. Well, let's
when I saw this, as shared by Yashar Ali on X, I responded and I said
Ali?
that
genocidal
language, no matter who shares it, is always wrong.
What was the guy's name again? Dang it. That Ali guy got in my head, and I do not know how to spell that. Unless I may be able to. Is it that Ali? What's Ali? Oh, Candace is suspended. Great. I don't know how to spell his name, guys. I'm sorry. So there's that. Who was the other guy? What was his name? I'm gonna find it and
stopped watching his podcast because he was screaming at Americans that we needed to prioritize Israel, and people just didn't feel that way. Okay, it's not our country.
Brian Mast, wasn't it? Or was it whatever, Mast? Pretty sure it was Mast. I don't see anything with that last name. Or Mass. Mass? New latest. Mass. I'm not gonna find it that way.
I'm sorry that happened to you, but why do yes, Dr. Thomas Sowell of Stanford. Ben was sort of having another one of his open nervous breakdowns, and his audience just went kaput. People just stopped watching his podcast because he was screaming at Americans that we needed to prioritize Israel, and people just didn't feel that way. Okay, it's not our country. I'm sorry that happened to you, but why do Americans need to be screamed at about what's happening in the Middle East? Anyways, throughout this time, Brian Mast was wearing an IDF
she said Brian
uniform
Mast
in Congress, and he basically said that there's no such thing as an innocent Palestinian life. And when I saw this, as shared by Yashar Ali on X, I responded and I said that genocidal language, no matter who shares it, is always wrong. Genocide is always wrong is what I tweeted.
Brian
And
Kohberger.
this caused an emotional breakdown.
I'm surprised she
amongst
did
people.
not. I'm really surprised that she did not go full in on Brian Kohberger. Genuinely. Oh man, thank you, Angelina, for being here. Not working here. What am I saying? Brian Mast. Is it Mast? I wonder if was it Mast. Let me see. If I remember right, nope. Brian, okay. These are all the times she's mentioned this Brian. I don't understand this. Top one. Brian Kohberger still can't get over this. Half a dozen. Okay. Jewish lawyer Brian. Okay. Man, I don't know. She says that she has that tweet, but it's not here. That's really weird, right? I'll just see all the time she's mentioned genocide, I guess. This is gonna suck. Okay. There's some Ali guy. I'll look for the Ali. Martyr mate? Nope. Never mind. This is going to take actually forever. Ian Miles. Oh, great. I'm glad that she's chatting it up with Ian. Of course she is. From committing let's see. I don't see her tweet on this. I think she's lying. I think she's just lying about what she just said. Let's see. Let me see here. Brian Mast. Is that how you spell it? Okay, Brian Mast. Okay. Yeah, it is. Okay. It is spelled like that. Okay. No, I did not hear it, but I don't doubt it exists, nor that it was indeed horrific. I have seen despicable and inhumane things on the internet from either side of this conflict, but the shameful conduct of some should never be used to justify the dehumanization of an entire group. To suggest that there are no innocent civilians, Israeli, Palestine, or otherwise, is a genocidal rhetoric. It signals that it would be fine to kill every infant and child of a particular race. Okay. You didn't hear about the phone intercept with the guy bragging to his mother about how many Jews he had ended with his bare hands that day, asking if she was proud of him? Okay. Here it is.
I would encourage the other side.
Okay.
As a whole, I would encourage the other side to not so lightly throw around the idea of innocent Palestinian civilians, as is frequently said. I don't think we would so lightly throw around the term innocent Nazi civilians during World War II.
Okay. I understand where he's coming from to a degree, because there are two sides to the story. One, that Palestinians support Hamas. Because here's the thing, they did elect them. Okay? That being said, I don't think he's saying we should go in there and mow them all down. I think what he's saying is we should not sit here and pretend like they're not trying to overthrow Israel as a whole. And as their country is, it's not like these people are being taken over by Hamas per se. If they were, I'm sure they'd be fighting back. I'm pretty confident they would at least try to get rid of Hamas as well. They'd get out of Israel's way to get rid of Hamas if they couldn't do it themselves. But they don't tend to do that. Okay, so they seem to support Hamas. I could be wrong. And I'm more than willing to be wrong because I don't know enough about it. But when people are sitting here, like, it's kind of ridiculous. It says the civilians helped with October 7th. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But Candace is taking this out of context completely. This guy's not sitting here saying mow all these people down. He's just saying these people support Hamas. You know? Like, the thing about it is he was quick to say bad guys from World War II civilians, not German civilians. Did you notice that? It's kind of interesting. And here's the thing, too. For the most part, German civilians all supported the big bad guy of World War II at that time. And there was a big reason why. World War I was not Germany's fault. But Germany got the full blame of it. And they became pretty bitter. So they wanted to get back at the rest of the world. I can understand that. Now, the big bad guy himself ended up toking himself up with so many different drugs, he lost his freaking mind, which is why he started off somewhat moderate in the 1920s, late 1920s. And then you see that he jumped from there to crystal knocked by 1938. A lot of people like to throw out the whole, what's it called? Havara Agreement. People don't realize is the Havara Agreement took place 5 years before Crystal knocked. So yeah, at first he was like, just get out of my country. And then in his meth-fueled rage, he was like, hey, nah, how about y'all don't leave my country? You know what I mean? Took a whole 5 years for that to change. He became crazier and crazier. Now, I don't know if it was necessarily due to the drugs or not, but I'm sure they didn't help. Well, one thing's for sure, he changed his mind. 1941 and 1942, he's meeting with people in the Middle East, in Persia. I think, were they still calling it Persia then, in the 1940s? When did stop being Persia? I think it was Persia in the 1940s, right? 1935. Okay, never mind. So it wasn't. It was Iran. So he was going to Iran. Maybe they still called it Persia then, though, because it was only 5 years old as a country at that point. Iran was only 5 years old, so, you know, after that. So, yeah. Iran, he was meeting, whatever that guy's name is, with the same last name as Hussein. It's Husseini. It was his last name, not Hussein, but with an I, and it was an IE or whatever it was. But Husseini, you know, he was meeting up with him going, hey, here's how we're going to get rid of Israel. It's like, you know, people leave that part out. It's pretty convenient that they leave that part out, but, you know, is what it is, I guess. Whatever floats their goat. And, you know, they float their goats over there all the time.
Who support Israel. I didn't think that was a controversial statement. I thought that was sort of what we all believed in. Genocide is always wrong. Anyways, for Ben, He then had some private event, probably at another Jewish donor's house.
Yeah.
And somebody caught him standing on a table insulting me over my genocide is always.
Let me guess, because he was too short, right? Is that where we're going? Ben Shapiro's proven his height all the time, though, but it's really funny. Everybody does think he's short, and I think it's that hat. I think it's his build and his hat that make him look really, really short. Like, I've always noticed, like, there's a trope with Jewish guys being short. But Jewish guys are some of the tallest people I know, actually. A lot of them are freakishly tall. It's really hilarious. And I think it's just the hat. I think the way that it just sits on their head and whatnot, for some reason, it just pushes them down to the ground. I really don't get it.
Wrong tweet. Take a listen to
standing
what
on a
Ben had to
table.
say.
And the question was about Candace Owens. I think her behavior.
Oh, I see what's going on here. So she means, never mind. I thought she meant he was getting drunk at a party and just started shouting down at the guests talking about Candace. Never mind. I was like, yeah, I'm sure that happened. This is a completely different thing going on than what I expected. This is like an event.
During this has been disgraceful.
Yeah, that's so funny. I was thinking he was going to have a cocktail in his hand. He was going to be like, yeah, Candace Owens. Like, just sitting there, like, screaming down at the top of his lungs like Chris Farley or something like that. This is not the image I was thinking. I can't hardly hear anything.
I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
Okay. He just said he doesn't believe what the crap she's saying. That's really all he said. He's just like, yeah, I think she's, full of crap. Okay. All right, Candace, did that hurt your feelings?
Disgraceful. She works at my company. You can imagine that the internet went crazy because they wanted me to respond to him. I can't believe this. They work together. They're colleagues. Somehow this gets leaked.
Oh, okay.
I
This
want
is
to
during...
mention, because it's very relevant, that was on the morning of November 14th. I was 6 days away from giving birth. I was very heavily
God.
pregnant.
Jesus, Candace. Like, genuinely, who cares? Oh, I was on my way of giving birth, and then he said that I was full of crap. Why? What did you think he was talking about your kid or something? Or maybe, he can have opinions about you and not like what you stand for. Who gives a crap, Candace? Oh my God. This is just a couple days before I was giving birth. Okay.
Anyways, I wake up to this, and shockingly, nobody from the Daily Wire steps in to manage the situation. And as you can imagine, virtually every journalist, every person with a media platform was contacting me to comment, to respond to me being insulted by someone. I'm about to give birth. I'm being insulted, and they're not getting anything from the Daily Wire.
Okay.
So I am obviously
Sounds like
frustrated.
a personal problem.
You should also tell you, I had no PR at this time. My PR was...
Candace, I don't give a crap about your work life and the drama that took place in the workplace. I genuinely don't care. Ben Shapiro didn't like you. He didn't like you when you were working for the Daily Wire. All right. Why do I care about this? Does anybody else care about this at all? Who gives a crap? What does this have to do with Charlie Kirk or him, like, defending anything that happened to Charlie Kirk? Like, I don't understand. She's just airing out her nasty laundry. Her yeasty laundry. Good God. Put some baking soda on it.
The internal PR at the Daily Wire. And it was very clear that their focus was on protecting Ben, even though he was the one who insulted me publicly.
Gee, I wonder why. It's almost like he owns a fourth of the company. What do you think? Who do you think they're gonna defend, Candace? The guy who owns part of the company, or you? Okay? I'm not saying he's right. In fact, I think it makes him a garbage boss to sit there and be, trash-talking his employee. He should just fire the employee, and then he could say whatever he wants. Well, the reason why I did this. Okay, fine. Or was she even working for him at the time? I don't even actually know. I don't care that much, though. Okay, fine. You had a boss do a really shitty thing. Welcome to the real world, Candace. Guess what? Everyone hates their boss. All right. Yo, this is news to Candace, guys. I don't think she's ever worked a real job before. That's hilarious. Everybody hates their boss. This is just unbelievable. All right. Well, I'm glad we established this.
I said that genocide is always wrong. That is the genesis of that statement. That's all I said.
Okay.
Obviously,
that's great.
Wanted to respond angrily to the press.
The problem is they believe that Palestinians support Hamas. Okay? You're living in two different realities. And I don't know which reality is necessarily correct. I'll admit that. But at least I can see the situation. Like, these people that are super pro-Israel or super pro-Palestine have no nuance. Absolutely none. Yes, it's very well possible Israel could just be genociding these people. Do you think I have any knowledge as to what's going on in their government? The citizens of Israel don't know what's going on in their government. Our government could be genociding a lot of people all around the world. Probably is. I have no idea, though. I'm not privy to that information. It's like people think they know everything that's going on in the world, and they don't. And it's fine to have one side of the story or believe in the other side of the story. But my God, the fact that you all act like you know every single detail and you're just so well informed that Palestine is just absolutely evil or that Israel is just absolutely evil. Like, people think they know, but they live by Candace's motto. We don't know, but we know. That's what people do, and it drives me nuts. Like, for once, I wish people would just sit there and think, what if I'm wrong about this? What if I'm wrong about this? It's why I don't throw my hat that far into the Israel-Palestine situation going on. How can I do that when I don't know enough about it? And the thing about it is, to even know enough about it, you'd have to dig so deep into your own government and to their own government. Citizens just aren't quite privy to it. All we can try to do is get a hold of our government and finally at some point get them to declassify everything for us as the people to audit. But that's going to be a battle that will probably be fought over the next 100 years and we'll probably lose it. But you know what? We're going to keep trying. Because we don't stop and we're never going to make progress if we stop. That's the whole point of MAGA. That's why we're trying to drain the swamp. That's why we're trying to get these people into office so we can finally know what our government has been up to for the past 100 years. And until these other countries start doing that, I'm not interested in helping hardly any of them out. The UK is probably right now the closest government that I'd be interested in helping out, or closest country, simply because at least the people are starting to go out into the streets and fight back. And seeing that, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm interested in helping those people because they're doing the thing that they should be doing. Now, it's not gone far enough, in my opinion, yet, but we'll see if it does. And I'd be right there to help them out. Anytime. I think the funding should go right over to the citizens of the UK. I think they should have a mandatory given United States firearm. We should fly our military right on into UK, step on out because we know they're not going to do a thing about it. We should bring crates and crates of weapons and be like, every UK citizen can come up and grab one. Let's see the UK stop them. You know what I mean? Well, that's true. The Dutch have been doing that. We need to help. Oh, yeah, the Dutch and also Poland. I think we should do that. But Poland's in a pretty good spot, though. No one's going to mess with Poland. Polish people are crazy. They ain't going to let you come in there and take their stuff. You know what I mean? So there is that. I guess they don't really need our help as much. But yeah, you know, the Dutch too. I'm up for that, you know. As a Jew, you're worried about America specifically right now. Yeah. As everybody should be, you know. Like, it's not about Jews or Native Americans, black people, or anything like that. The thing about it is we live here. And there's so many people that don't understand. We live here. We need to make sure our house is well, good, in standing. Because if we don't, it's going to go to crap. And how the hell are we going to help out Israel or Palestine or any other country if our floor caves in? What are we going to do? We won't be able to function anymore. And then all the other countries are going to take everything over. You know, the rest of the world needs to understand. If the United States ain't doing good, they're not doing good. because they're not going to step up to the plate. They're not going to fight these wars against China and Russia, and they're going to get walked on. So it's just one of those situations where it's like we don't have a choice. At times, I wish we could help certain people out. I really do. But if we're not in good standing, they're not going to be doing good either. So it's just tough, unfortunately. Let's get back to this here.
At Ben, and I guess you could sort of say my perspective was an eye for an eye, but my husband, who's a better person than me, instructed me that morning to instead take a deep breath, relax, okay? Don't think about what you're feeling in the moment. Think about how you're going to feel
According
in the
to
future.
Milo.
And he instructed me to instead read the Bible, the Sermon on the Mount. And I read through it.
Oh, she's going to give a Bible
reminds
verse.
me that everybody who wants to comment, they don't care about me either, right? They're selling headlines. They want the clicks. They want the drama. And I'm going to feed into that for what reason? For what reason, actually, am I going to give a...
You just did it. What? What are you talking about? You just did it. I'm so confused. What are you talking about?
Comment and say something about Ben Shapiro. Blessed are the peacemakers, right? Don't buy into this click culture. And so I tweeted that actually my husband was right. I called for peace. I tweeted, blessed are the peacemakers. And I made the mistake, I guess it was a mistake, that after I tweeted, blessed are the peacemakers, and I'm thinking that I'm going to be commended when I get back to work. Like, wow, you really took the high road. I ended this biblical passage with Christ is king. Christ is the king. He's the only thing that matters. Obviously, Christ is king.
Okay.
Now, it was just Tucker Carlson's luck that
I understand that, and it was silly, very silly for Ben Shapiro to get mad at. But I also understand why when you're working with somebody and you throw your religion in their face, right? When he didn't throw his religion in your face, that could be a bit insulting. A great example. Who's that girl that you don't like reading Bible passages off to you? And you're a Christian. You don't like that. But then whenever you respond to Ben Shapiro and tell him that his religion isn't good, but yours is, essentially, when you say Christ is king, which I believe Christ is king, okay? I do. But I can understand using that against someone because you don't like it. You don't like being told Bible verses, and you're a Christian. That's crazy. And yet you're going to sit there and do that to Ben Shapiro and be like, well, that should be fine. And he's not a Christian. He's going to take a lot more offense to that because here's the thing. When somebody reads off a Bible passage to me as if like I did something bad and they quote me or something like that, it's annoying. I get it. You are having someone kind of talk down to you, right? I understand a little. However, the reading of the Bible passage doesn't upset me that much, okay? But if a Muslim came up to me and started going, you're an infidel and stuff like that, you know, I'll be bringing down a couple towers, 1 and 2. You know what I mean? No, I won't actually go that far. But I'm just saying, you know, left plane, right plane, you know, something like that. Just saying. Anyway, I'm just saying, I won't be too happy if somebody starts trying to force their religion, throw it in my face. I'm like, hey, you know what? Up yours. You know, that's not I'm not going to like that much. And that's what you did, Candace. I'm just saying. And you did it in the workplace, sort of. You know what I mean? But I understand. There's a video came out. Ben Shapiro's talking crap. You clap back. He shouldn't have been doing it. You shouldn't have been doing it. Both of you guys involved were in the wrong. But guess who owns the company? It's kind of the way it works, Candace. What did you think was going to happen? Like, what did you think was going to happen? Guess what? Your boss is always right. And that's why we don't like bosses. Welcome again to the real world, Candace.
That I had been slated to come on his news show the very next day. He had booked me 6 weeks earlier. I got approval from Daily Wire. He booked me for November 15th. So suddenly Ben gets on this table. He insults me. It's trending all over Twitter. And Tucker Carlson is going to be the first person to capture my reaction to it. And when it came time, I
actually didn't know Messianic Jews they believe in Jesus as the King of Jews? I actually didn't know that. I don't know anything about the Jewish religion, really, to be honest. In the sense of tradition, I mean, I obviously am reading what they're reading with the Old Testament, but I'm just saying I don't know much about the customs, you know what I mean? And what they think really much about Jesus.
Up with the peacemaker. I decided, I made the decision to just take the high road. I said, You know, I don't want that to negatively impact how people perceive the Daily Wire. There are great people there. I mean, I wouldn't be proud on that, but I'm not taking the bait here. I didn't say anything snipey back at Ben because I didn't want to feed the mob. That was my honest perspective. My husband was just right. And also, we're talking about a work colleague, right? Somehow, me taking the high road made him angrier. So here's what he did. Elsewhere in my interview with Tucker, he asks me who I look up to, who I like. And I told Tucker the truth that it was my dream to meet Thomas Sowell. That when I first got into politics, I read a ton of Thomas Sowell books, and I had tried many times to meet him. And obviously he's aging, but I really looked up to Dr. Thomas Sowell. And here's that clip with me and Tucker.
Okay.
Who do you listen to when you're trying to figure out? I mean, some of the stuff comes at you so fast, and you're talking almost every day.
She just goes, Charlie's favorite book guy, that one.
Or writing almost every day. Who do you read or listen to try to make sense or bounce ideas off of?
You know,
Who do you
I
trust?
have been obsessed with Thomas Sowell, and everybody knows that. I am pretty much a Thomas Sowell groupie. Everything he writes, I read, and it is because he was a part of my awakening story into politics and made me focus on the economics, which is to say, block out the noise and pay attention to the
Yes.
economics, go backwards in history to understand where we are. When has this worked? Oh, it's never worked. So they're just telling you that it's going to work into the future, and there's no evidence to support that.
Okay.
So when Ben saw that, he decided, Thomas Sowell, hey, that's your dream. You love Thomas Sowell.
All right.
He thought that was an opportunity to get even with me.
I don't care. I don't care. Why is he involved with Israel in Charlie's end? Why, Candace? Like, where do I, like, why am
Taking
I
the
watching
high road
this?
after he insulted me
It's
on
such
stage
garbage
because
drama.
he's deeply jealous of Tucker Carlson for reasons that I cannot quite understand. Ben had his team
1 second, guys. I got to turn this light on over here, or light off over here. Sorry, guys. That was driving me nuts. That light was way too bright. There we go.
reach out and schedule an interview with Thomas Sowell, which they paid for an offensive amount of money, I presume, to effectively purchase a black man who has no idea what's going on. He's very old, he's in his 90s, to hurt my feelings.
Okay.
Interview with Tucker is on the 15th. I think it premieres on the 16th. And Ben gets Thomas Sowell, who he doesn't care about. I'm working at the Daily Wire at this moment, and I'm about to give birth in 3 days. But this
Okay.
was supposed to be like an FU, Candace, for taking the high road and saying,
Was it? He interviewed Thomas Sowell and you're mad at that? Okay. This is wild. So, yeah, Susie Q, what is the show? It seems it's so petty. Yeah, absolutely. Hello, is it MZ Jack? Yeah, MZ Jack of all trades. Frog Dog, good to see you here. Good to see you, Claire. Good to see you, Jack Dog. Jackal Dog. Jesus is King, good to see you. Summer Duggan. Yesikin. Glad to have you all here. Yeah, it's she seems to be very upset that she sniped his or not she. He sniped her guest and whatnot. Thomas Sowell is a great man, and his beliefs are not similar to Candace at all. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know.
that genocide is always wrong. That is what I mean when I say he is an incredibly
Yeah, that is
petty
all she talks
man.
about. She talks about
Okay.
herself a lot.
Now, we know how this ends. I then am fired. Fired
see you,
not
Vex.
for what I said, but for what they
Hello, Erica.
assumed that I meant, and for
Okay.
trolls that I didn't respond to. And I want to be clear, you can fire whoever you want. You really can if you're a business owner. It's just that this was atypical in the fashion that it was done, right? It wasn't done in the way where you just say, okay, get out of here, it's not working. Instead, what they decided to do.
Okay, Candace, I get it. He was a dick. I don't care. Like, she's just never worked a day in her life. She has never had a bad boss before. Except, at every single job she got fired from, I guess. But whatever.
Humiliate me in front of
I don't know.
all of the other employees.
She's acting like this is just
rather
something
than having
crazy.
a conversation, sort
Every-
of dramatically
Every single working
having the
class American right now is sitting here watching this going, okay, this is stupid.
It after doing my show, not knowing that I was going to be fired. And then they had put together a stage in my studio and
Oh, that's just so great.
Put up clips put together basically a whole package, like almost like a high school play, and conducted what I honestly, when I look back, because it recently leaked what happened at this quote unquote town hall, this is a slave hanging. This is a slave hanging, right? Gather around, everybody else is a slave. And let me tell you how this one messed up. Gather round and watch us whip this person. This is literally how I feel when I watch this, okay? And you'll know what not to do next. And here is a video of the...
Of course, she played the black card. She played the black, oh no, I'm black and they're being racist card. Okay, cool.
Then CEO Jeremy Boring, which somehow Steven Crowder got a hold of this week or last week or whatever. This is just a portion of it. You should watch the entire thing because it really is something. And ask yourself in your memory, do you ever recall anybody ever being fired where 300 employees, which Ben joined electronically, he was up on the screen too, and just enjoyed watching me be humiliated, where 300 employees are invited down and...
Yes, Candace, actually, not for me personally, but I watched it happen to a person who I was so happy to see get fired. There were a couple of them. It happens sometimes. There are times where employees are so bad that they are publicly shamed right there in front of everyone. I've seen it many times. Oh, man, Summer Duggan, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Oh, thank you. And you guys are freaking awesome. Thank you guys so much, genuinely. Thank you.
Shown a production of what this person did wrong. Okay, well, let's watch a little bit of this video.
Candace made no statement
I appreciate
at all
you too,
in the
by the
days
way.
after Hamas terrorists raped, murdered, and tortured over 1,000 Israeli civilians, mostly Jews, some Americans.
We're watching this again.
More hostage. But then on October 28th of 2023, while anti-Israel protests were raging in London, where Candace, I believe, was...
Candace, we already, literally went over this video where they explained that you violated your contract and that your attorney put that point on there that you would not be anti-Semitic at all or whatever. You signed that contract. You did that. Remember the whole put your big boy pants on, Steven Crowder, and negotiate? That's what big boys do. And then you apparently agreed to this contract to where your attorney actually put it in your contract. Your attorney did that and suggested it. That was you. You guys. We already went over this, Candace. And then you violated that contract and they fired you. Why don't you address that part of this video? You should definitely address that part of this video. It's towards the very end about you violating your contract with the Daily Wire. I really want to hear your response on that.
At the time, she reposted a video of the protests on X, commenting, quote, "Interesting thing happening here. People are not accepting the media narrative about what's happening in the Middle East, despite the insistent rhetoric from government officials." On November 3rd, she posted, quote, "No government anywhere has a right to commit a genocide ever. There is no justification for a genocide."
Yeah, I agree. She is a death for every company.
Needs to be said,
that's why she's self-employed.
The least bit controversial to state. There was only one country on earth being accused of genocide at the time. Anti-Semites on X took to it.
Well, no, that's
immediately.
not
They cheered
true.
what they wrote.
I mean, by the mass and the leftists, yeah. But, I mean, real people know where the real genocides are. And there's 5 other countries I can name right now that are doing insane genocides that, for some reason, people just don't give a crap about. And it's really frustrating. It really is frustrating. It's the reason why I want to cut funding to every single country out there. I'm just like, these people out here are being absolutely just genocided. 5 countries are doing that. We should definitely be saving our money and then aiding those people. We should be getting underground cells fired up in those countries and have takeovers happening there. But instead, that's happening to our country. That's what's going on. Other countries are sending people here to take over. And we're not doing anything to China or to Pakistan or to Yemen or to any of that. We're not doing any of that stuff. We should be doing that with the Tor network. Instead, we actually overthrew Libya through the Tor network, and that sucked. That actually was not a good result for anybody.
Rightly or wrongly interpreted as Candace smearing Israel. And Candace didn't rebuff their interpretation. But when Dave Rubin came to the exact
What are you
same
laughing
conclusion
at?
as the anti-Semites, only instead of cheering for Candace, found it vile and rebuked
Why does she
her.
laugh like that freaking creepy lady in Harry Potter? Who's that creepy lady with the cats? Umbridge. Freaking Umbridge. She just laughed like Umbridge. You guys see that?
Israel. And
Hold
Candace said, I can't believe this even needs to be said or is even considered the least bit controversial to state. There was only one country on earth being accused of genocide at the time. Anti-Semites on X took to it immediately. They cheered at what they rightly or wrongly interpreted as Candace smearing Israel. And Candace didn't rebuff their interpretation. But when Dave Rubin came to the
Okay. She didn't rebuff it. Why is that funny? I don't get it. She laughed literally like Umbridge. That's creepy.
exact same conclusion as the anti-Semites, only instead
Yeah,
of
that probably
cheering
is
for
why she's
Candace,
doxing children.
found it
She's like Umbridge.
vile and rebuked her, Candace quickly attacked, saying, quote, what's amazing about this is that I didn't name any country in this tweet. I simply stated that genocide is wrong always. This is not a controversial stance. Interesting how you interpreted it. And then followed up with, quote, in short, if the blanket statement that genocide is wrong upsets you in any way, then you need to check yourself. I said exactly what I meant, and I won't be backing down or apologizing or further clarifying this statement.
Okay.
Within 24 hours, Candace liked a post calling Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal. Now let's be clear. You're free to disagree with Israel's conduct, and you're free to oppose the Netanyahu government. But the idea that Israel is committing genocide or that Netanyahu is a war criminal is just factually baseless. Unfortunately, Candace routinely makes insinuations about Jews that both lovers of anti-Semitism and haters of anti-Semitism both agree is anti-Semitic. And in almost every one of these instances, Candace says nothing to the anti-Semites who cheer her and only pushes back against those who disapprove of her comments. On February 20th,
Well, that's just Candace Owens in a nutshell. It wouldn't matter if she was pro-Israel. Like, you know, it's one of those things to where if anybody criticized her for being pro-Israel at all, she would also fire back the same way. You know, it's just Candace Owens' personality right there. She's just the type of person that cannot ever have any nuance. Anytime anybody pushes back on me a little bit, I at least go through and start researching immediately what it is that I had said to make sure I was correct, you know? And Candace doesn't like to do that. She never does that, actually. Hey, Scar, thank you so much, man. Yo, good evening, Artie and chat. Gonna catch up. Excited you made it. Hey, thank you so much. Put on that 2x speed and you'll catch up in no time. Sorry if I talk too fast or if Candace is talking too fast. Man, thank you so much, though. Thank you, guys.
8th of this year, Candace, just asking questions, posted, quote, time to look into the history and profiteering of pornography. Her replies were immediately flooded with anti-Semites cheering her for the question and providing the answer that they interpreted her to mean, the Jews. Once again, Candace did nothing to disabuse the anti-Semites of their assumption. But when Anthony Coach came to the exact same conclusion,
I can understand you shouldn't be blaming ever somebody for commenters on their comment section. But at the same time, if you're having all of these people comment and you're not like at all going, hey, this is disgusting, retweet one of them. I don't know. Show one of them and be like, hey, I don't agree with this. It's kind of interesting that she doesn't do that at times, but she does do it with other subjects. So I understand where they'd be coming from and how this violates her contract. She's the one who had it put in her contract. Okay? Otherwise, I wouldn't care too much. Okay? But at the end of the day, they can interpret it that way because her contract says she cannot be anti-Semitic. They put it in there. Now, I want to hear that. I hope she gets to it.
pushed back saying, quote, this is utterly insane. I tweeted that porn is harming men in our society, and this person has interpreted that as an attack on Jews. This is an example of clinical insanity. There is no other explanation.
No, it's just because Jews film all the all the industry, right? They're all the guys behind the camera, aren't they? That's what she meant. No. At the end of the day, it's really funny that she cut it there. Because she knew what he meant about the people commenting under that comment. He just said it. I bet she ain't gonna mention that.
I stand by all of those tweets. Pornography is harming men.
She didn't listen to what he said. She didn't listen to what he said at all. Did you guys see that? She didn't even try to listen to what he said. Isn't that amazing? Did I call it or not? She's gonna stand by her tweets. He didn't say that that tweet attacked Jewish people at all. He said that when you made that tweet, people commented on that tweet anti-Semitic things, and you did nothing to rebuff those anti-Semitic tweets that those people made on your tweet about what that's doing to men. It wasn't about your tweet at all, Candace. It had nothing to do with your tweet, and he was super clear on that. And I got that instantly. That's amazing. I definitely called it that she was not going to do that she was going to take this out of context. And this is live. You guys know that I didn't watch this beforehand. Now, there's a lot of video here, but I obviously started streaming when this went live. Or I started streaming right before it went live. So, yeah, you guys saw the whole time. I didn't pre-watch this, but I knew she was going to take that out of context, and I knew she was going to say, well, my tweet wasn't anti-Semitic, though. He never said that, Candace. He never said your tweet there was anti-Semitic. He said people commented anti-Semitic things on it, and you didn't rebuff it. And per your contract, you had to.
We should look into who profits off of pornography. Genocide is always wrong, no matter which country calls for it, whatever. What was controversial about anything that I say? Now, I'm again wanting you to, these are my crimes. Just imagine 300 people being brought and said, like, she said this, and this is...
This is why you live in a different reality, Candace. You didn't even listen to what the guy said. You didn't even listen to him.
What we know. And then
Good
he goes
job.
into a diatribe about the real meaning of Christ is King, and he shows videos of Nick Fuentes, which had nothing to do with me. I had never even spoken. I think only one time I had spoken ever to Nick Fuentes. And it was pertaining to Kanye. Yeah, that was it.
And you weren't supposed to associate with him because of your contract, Candace. But you didn't let that part of the video play. It's amazing how that works out. Wonder how many Candace fans are watching this for the first time. They came in here to kind of hate watch me or something. Or to see what I may just be saying about Candace in general. And if you are in here, go watch that full video. He says that her attorney put it in her contract with her knowledge that it was her attorney's idea to say you cannot be anti-Semitic at all. And then Candace went anti-Semitic. People can be anti-Semitic. I don't care if they are or not. I don't care if Candace wants to be anti-Semitic or not. It doesn't bother me. Just like any other person who wants to be racist or something. I don't care. You can do that. It's a free country. But at the end of the day, I wasn't stupid enough, you know what I mean, in general, to be in your position to have something like that in my contract and then break it. But you're not willing to talk about that. Unfortunately, you are the dumb person who would put something like that in your own contract and then violate it. Because you're not very intelligent. It's unbelievable. Your attorney did that. Your attorney, and you did not address it, which tells me that he's telling the truth.
But I'm showing you this because it's important for you to understand that this has never stopped. I want you to imagine if you view yourself to be a slave owner, and that slave not only survives like this public whipping, but that escapes and becomes successful. That's pretty much my relationship with Ben Shapiro since he's fired me, because they have not stopped. They have not stopped. I am talking about people working behind the scenes to call advertisers, attempting to bankrupt me in courts, sending undercover interns to stalk me. He has issued thus far 3 court proceedings, okay, for every solitary petty infraction against things that I say. He's worked with.
With what authority, Candace? Could it be that they're gathering evidence literally for the contract you violated? See, I thought it was really creepy that TPUSA was doing, or that TPUSA, that Ben Shapiro was doing that to you. I thought it was really weird. And then Steven Crowder leaked this video and showed that you were actually under contract. And then now that I'm like, oh, they're sending interns and stuff, they are trying to get as much evidence as possible to show that you did violate your contract. All of a sudden, it's a little less creepy, and now I understand their motive. You violated a contract, though, Candace. I mean, what else do you want us to do for you? Weep, cry about it? You didn't have to sign it. But you wanted the money, and you knew that if you didn't sign that, they would not let you in the company. And then when you were done with the company, You're like, well, I know how they'll fire me. Say some anti-Semitic stuff. I'll make it easy. Bam. Cool, now you're out. All right. You got your money. You got your out. And now you can come make your own show. Even if you had to pay him back, it was worth it because now you're number one. You figured, hey, I could bring the people from the Daily Wire over to here, make my own money, pay this off, whatever. Now I don't have to work for the Daily Wire anymore, and it's all profit from there, and you can compete with them, which is fine and dandy, except you're leaving out the part where you violated your contract. I don't like that.
Barry Weiss behind the scenes to have articles written about me. It is non-stop. I refer to this, just to be clear, as legal abuse. It's legal abuse. And I have put up with a lot of it. I have put up with
it's not
the
illegal
pettiness
abuse
of even suing me because I interviewed a USS Liberty survivor who mentioned your name as you pretend that you care about free speech and debate. I've put up with a lot of it, but today,
okay, did you lose the lawsuit?
I draw the line with this miserable imp when it comes to Charlie Kirk.
Ah, she was calling him
Don't try
short.
me on this, but you keep trying me on this. You are an imposter, Ben. You're an imposter. You pay to pretend that you're friends, that you have a right to be on that stage because you get donors to pressure people, because you know Jewish people who can threaten to take money, or you say, I'm going to do an act.
Boy, she really hates her ex-boss. Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of that. Why should I care about this?
Advertising spend. Here's $1 million. I'm sorry you're dead. The entire world knows that you are an imposter. I mean, you're so much of a fraud that
Let's say
essentially
it's
what
true.
you do is you have people send around clips.
Let's say it's true. Okay? Great. I'm glad. Ben Shapiro's an imposter. Let's see. What does Ben Shapiro know about Erica Kirk at Fort Hotchua? That's the title of this video. I'm glad that we've discovered that Ben Shapiro is an asshole. All right. I'm so glad. Thank you so much. Well, technically speaking, Ben Shapiro, it was her boss. I mean, he owns a fourth of Daily Wire. So, you know. Now, as for an actual official title, was he granted authority over her? No. But at the end of the day, if the owner of the company talks with the other owners of the company and they say she must be removed, management's going to listen. You know what I mean? So there is that. Now, whether he actually fired her or not, I have no idea. But at the end of the day, I mean, who are they going to defend? Worker? Owner of the company? Who cares? But anyway, I'm just giving her all of it. I'm just saying, let's pretend everything she's saying is correct. Why do I care that Ben Shapiro is an asshole? Why? Why do I care? Candace, can you explain this to me at all, why I should care about this? I don't care.
To grown men, to cheer you on, to pretend like the audiences love you. You staff audiences with people that work for YAF who are told to explode into cheers when you hit the stage because you don't have the confidence anymore to go out into the world because you know people see you for what you are.
Okay.
And
I don't care.
Exactly what he did yesterday. We can now listen to what this imposter said as he hit the stage. Charlie Kirk's organization, the one that he built for debate, if you have a disagreement, and he instructs people here in this speech to go after me and Tucker Carlson, right? That's what he's going to do. He wants us deplatformed. So he's going to attack me, he's going to attack Tucker Carlson, and he's going to attack Megyn Kelly because she's at the beginning of what these people have put me and Tucker and Charlie Kirk through.
Okay.
Take a listen to a portion of what Ben had to say.
We will.
So, if Candace Owens decides to spend every day since the murder of Charlie Kirk casting aspersions at TPUSA and the people who work here, who worked with Charlie every single day, his best friends, to cast aspersions at Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvin and Blake Neff and Tyler Boyer, and yes, at Erica Kirk, and to imply or outright claim complicity in a cover-up over Charlie's murder,
Dana,
to spew absolutely baseless trash implicating everyone from French intelligence to Mossad to members of TPUSA in Charlie's murder or a cover-up in that murder, then we, as people with a microphone, have a moral obligation to call that out by name. So no, Tucker Carlson.
I mean, I agree with him. That's what I'm doing. You know? So far, he's not said anything I disagree with. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think I have a microphone here. I think I'm morally obligated to call out Candace Owens. But, you know, that's why we're here.
It is not an excuse to go silent on Candace's targeting of TPUSA. Or to mirror her bullshit lines of questioning because you love Candace personally. The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them.
I mean, in all fairness, she is a young mother, at least. I don't know.
Is a non-starter. When Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is retarded. And we are all...
That's so funny. I gotta listen to that again.
The same holds true of Megyn Kelly, a person I consider a friend, characterizing Candace as a young mother and thus shying away from condemning her actions or fibbing about them. That is a non-starter. When Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is retarded. And we are...
I have got to clip that. I gotta upload that. There's gotta be something. That's amazing. I've got to do something with that. At least I gotta make it a ringtone or something. Maybe it'll be, it could be my new alarm clock sound or something. That's very, very funny. That's so good. Yeah, I should watch the whole speech. How long is the whole speech? Maybe, let's see. I probably could stream I don't know if I could stream Sunday or not. So there is one of those things. I might be able to stream Sunday. I'll see what's coming up on Sunday, guys.
All more retarded for having heard it.
Nice, okay.
Well, Ben, when it comes to you and having worked with you, I just know. I just know the tactics that you use to...
Okay, sure, Candace. All right, so now you're just saying you know for a fact. Any proof?
Feign popularity in the public. I just know the amount of money that you are willing to spend on advertising to inflate your numbers to make people think that you're popular.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool.
I don't have to say we don't know when it comes to you.
Okay, cool.
You
so
are such a joke of a little man. Your jealousy against Tucker, your ability to believe that you can keep manipulating...
Again, let's pretend everything Candace is saying here is 100% true. Okay. What does this have to do with him and Charlie Kirk? I'm not following. This is just drama. It's just drama BS. I could absolutely believe you 100 million% of everything you're saying about Ben Shapiro right now. And still, this has nothing to do with how he's involved with the end of Charlie Kirk. I don't get it, Candace. Can you please elaborate on that now?
The markets, you know those kids booed you on that stage. The amount of messages I got from Turning Point USA people saying, what is happening? Why is he on this stage? Standing against everything that Charlie believed in. So that's what you're doing. You're standing against everything that Charlie believed in. Because you weren't his friend. He didn't like you. For that very reason. I look at you and I just think you are such a little worm. I could see you right now. Probably.
He didn't like, cool. He didn't like him. I don't understand still.
What can we get out to her? We're going to sue her into bankruptcy again, right? Sue her for every infraction, every word that I don't like, and every time my feelings are hurt. Because what you really believe in is Baal Berith. That's what your people believe in. You believe that you are contract lords and that people are not allowed to violate contracts or you will ruin them for years. You fire someone.
Wait. Candace, why would he be trying to get back at you for violating your contract? Wait a minute. Hold on. Why would he do that? That's such a weird thing for someone to do to someone who didn't violate their contract. What are you leaving out? Wait, you violated your contract? Huh. Interesting.
And you effectively stalk and harass them for years after. I'm here to let you know.
Candace, he hasn't mentioned anything about you since, like, the start of this whole Charlie thing. Like, for the most part, I haven't seen him talk about you at all until you started talking about this Charlie Kirk whole anomaly going on. all these different anomalies that you've been saying have happened, like Israel and Palestine, or not Palestine, Israel, Egypt, Ukraine, all these different people. All these anomalies here involved in Charlie Kirk. That's when he started talking about you. And there's good reason to do that. It has nothing to do with your contract. But why didn't you mention that you violated your contract? Did that just slip out of you by accident? Because, hey, you haven't elaborated at all that you violated your contract yet. So, that's interesting. Flirty and slip, maybe? I think that came right on out of her without her actually meaning to do that.
That I'm done with it. I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world. I know you're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christ is King Clavin.
Nobody made you violate your contract, Candace. Okay?
And all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious. You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew. And I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't...
Wait, was that the Talmud? Was that an actual copy of the Talmud? What book was that you flashed? That didn't look like a Talmud. What was that? The Talmudic Jew? Expanded edition? Does that say Jew Books Online? Banned Book Series? Banned book, book 14. Why would it be banned? Hey, what is this book, guys? Can you all verify if this is actually like a Talmud? Or what is this book specifically? Talmud's like 50 volumes, so this is like book 14. Why does it say banned, though? Why is it banned? I'm confused.
Talmud that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hates, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a...
She's literally calling him a racist without, like, actually proving that he said or thought anything like that. That's such a left-wing thing to do. Such a left-wing thing to do. My pause game's crazy. Wow. But yeah, it's such a left-wing thing to do, to be like, oh, he's racist, without him ever saying anything racist.
Right to deceive us. That they have a right to treat Charlie the way that he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is somehow a part of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk and cares to protect the people.
What makes you think he didn't care about Charlie Kirk, though? All you've done was prove that Charlie Kirk did not like him. That's all you've proven. Assuming that all your texts are real, of course. But all you've managed to prove was that Charlie Kirk did not like him. You didn't prove that he didn't like Charlie Kirk, so I don't understand that. I don't think Ben Shapiro hated Charlie Kirk. I have no evidence to that whatsoever. I have no proof that he didn't. The only thing you managed to do was say Charlie Kirk, or prove that Charlie Kirk didn't like Ben. Okay. Well, maybe Ben didn't stop caring about Charlie Kirk then, just because you showed that. Maybe he valued still everything that he had done with Charlie Kirk back in the day, before Charlie Kirk, what happened to him. So I just don't know, though. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they both hated each other behind the scenes, but you didn't manage to prove that at all, and Ben Shapiro's never said that, so there's that.
People that are working at Turning Point USA, goodbye, Ben. Goodbye. The question is, how much more money is Ben Shapiro going to spend to make people think that he's popular?
How much has he spent in the first place?
How many more articles is his father going to write under a pen name, Hank Berrien of the Daily Wire, under the pen name Hank Berrien, as he wrote while Ben was at Breitbart, before he turned his back and betrayed them too, because that is his nature.
Okay.
He's one of these belly creatures, sliver on.
Again.
The question is,
drama. Don't care. I'll give it to you. Ben's daddy writes good things about his own son. Fluffs him up. Yeah, I'll give it to you. He buys all these bots. Okay. What does this have to do with Charlie Kirk being murdered, Candace? Please get to it.
How many more
Please get
weeks
to it.
and years do we have to
How
keep
much longer do I have
pretending
on this?
like Ben Shapiro is relevant?
37
Open-ended
minutes.
question.
I'm going to...
Of course, what followed Ben Shapiro on stage is somebody who Charlie
this at
Kirk loved very
1.5.
much, and who he fought for to the very end against the Jewish donors who were pressuring him, some of them because Ben Shapiro insisted that they do. Take a listen to what Tucker Carlson had to say when he hit the stage.
Okay.
The prediction that, at some point when Republicans took power again, which I did everything I could, to help, and I really felt that was important. I still think, I was right. But I really thought that the impulse to deplatform people, or even to use the word platform as a verb, which it's not, it's a noun, don't steal my nouns, deplatform and denounce. Why haven't you denounced somebody else? The whole Red Guard cultural revolution thing that we so hated and feared on the left that we did everything we could to usher in a new time where you could have an actual debate. I mean, this kind of was the whole point of Charlie Kirk's public life. And I think that he died for it. I really believe that. And I know a lot about it because the last several months of Charlie's life were devoted in part to arguing about this event, in fact, this speech, in fact, my speech here, which he asked me to do earlier this year, this summer, and was immediately put under just immense pressure from people who give money to Turning Point.
Okay. So, how did you get here, Tucker? How did you get here? How are you able to freely speak about this? Sounds to me like they're not trying to deplatform you, and they could. They could have just not invited you. I don't know. Why are you still able to be here without Charlie? It's interesting.
Assume good people, but who wanted him to take me off the roster. And this has all become public, and the whole thing is so sad that I never talked about it, except to say Charlie stood firm in his often stated and deeply held belief that people should be able to debate, and that if you have something valid to say, if you're telling the truth, you ought to be able to explain it calmly and in detail to people who don't agree with you, and that you shouldn't immediately resort to shut up racist.
That is Charlie Kirk's true legacy, and that is Charlie Kirk's true friend, just as I was and am, and will continue to fight and ask questions about who killed Charlie Kirk. And to people that are at home, I implore you to wake up to these people who believe that they are contract lords. I challenge Black Americans to wake up to your true history, because your quarrel is not with white men.
Oh, she's going woke. Wake up, everyone.
That keeps us warring with one another. Christians versus Christians, right? Christians versus Muslims. Wake up and learn the true history of slavery, because that wasn't exactly a white men sport, okay? Jewish people were the ones that were trading us. Jewish people were in control of the slave trade. They've buried a lot of it, but it's there, and you can find it. I think all of us need to wake up to this, because it's making me absolutely sick. He's so bold.
That's great.
He dare sit near Charlie Kirk's chair, that he dare grace
I don't know what any of this has to do with the passing of Charlie. I genuinely don't.
Stage when Charlie Kirk knew exactly what Ben Shapiro was and will always be.
Okay.
So again, on your belly, Ben Shapiro. We'll be back after a brief break. All right, you guys, when they double down on abortion, you know that we have to care for a preborn start treatment immediately, or pharmacy line emergency kit. Candace, hold your tax, proving that it's even if you qualify. They're on USA.com/Charlie. You're telling me he's just obsessed with defending the honor of his widow? No, he's fearful. He's fearful of something about Erica Kirk. He just keeps calling out Erica Kirk on stage, demanding allegiance to Erica Kirk. Who are you? Actually, who are you? Why are you in this conversation? Why were you so quick to say you would pick up his blood?
Is she going to actually fully implicate Erica Kirk now? Is that what's going to happen?
Bloody Mike, and carry on. And didn't you just fire half of your force that was involved in Daily Wire Kids, only to then drop $1 million on Charlie's show? Again, weaseling your way into the chair when you weren't invited to go on there, but Matt Walsh was. That's what you do. Wheel and deal behind the scenes to make people think that you're liked. It's embarrassing, really, Ben. It's truly, honestly embarrassing. Why are you not embarrassed to be alive? I don't understand it. Anyways, so his general demeanor is starting to make me think that there's something there, right? The Fort Huachuca thing, it's...
Are he viewed as harmful or hostile doctrines within Judaism? Okay, so that book is... So that book is just a book trash talking the Talmud, I take it then? Not that I'm necessarily against somebody doing that, but it's just funny that she was somebody should read the Talmud, and then pulls up a book that's just trashing the Talmud instead. And I'm just okay, maybe I'll just read the Talmud and see what it actually says myself. I don't know.
Definitively
Seems
compelling,
easier.
I would say. I am learning also that Fort Huachuca has ties to Liberty University, and that you can attend classes there and achieve your degree at Liberty University. Still working to verify that. But Mark Amadei, we're going to get to that congressman in a second. Amadei has come out and really kind of not answered where he was on the morning of the 9th. And as I said, I don't know if we can rely entirely on the memory of one person who believes that he saw these individuals. But what I can say is that we verified 1,000% that he was where he said he was, that there was a meeting where he says that there was a meeting. We verified that Captain Neff was there, the one that he says was nice, but he got questioned for...
How'd you verify it, Candace? Can you show proof?
Very long time, and they wanted to hold him for 24 hours. So everything else that people are trying to dig up about Mitch, you can just ignore. Okay, that is a distraction, right? The only way that you can
Wait. Hold on. So he is Mitch Snow. Okay, thanks for confirming that, Candace. Thanks for also confirming that if he is Mitch Snow and he's the guy that we have all dug up, that he actually admits that he was discharged from the military before the tunnels were found, and he did it. He got discharged because he fell off an 80-foot cliff and injured himself. So what are you talking about? What is this?
Debunk anything that he has said is to say, oh, actually, I was the person that was there. It wasn't this congressman, it was me. Or I was staying at the Candlewood Inn and Suites and I saw this couple or, these two individuals in the hotel as well. And it was actually somebody else. It was my cousin. We are looking only for somebody to debunk those two aspects. Okay.
I don't have to debunk them. You haven't proven them. That's not my job, Candace. You prove that happened.
Because he was where he says he was and everything else we have verified. Ignore the note.
Prove it. Prove you verified it.
Noise and stay focused on that note because we did know that he was going to get attacked by a lot of trolls. And I did tell you we put together a Give, Send,
They're
Go.
not trolls.
You can
it's
support
real.
Mitch at givesendgo.com/Candace podcast. I literally just hit publish on this.
Hey guys, like if you know anybody, do not let them donate to this. Tell them, be like, this is the guy. Show them Mitch Snow. Show the guy that actually, show him how he says he literally ended up getting injured in a completely different way. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Do not donate to this guy at all. That's wild. That is absolutely wild. She just admitted that this is Mitch Snow. That is crazy. There was a guy, you said you lost, Susie. I'll give you the rundown real quick. Candace Owens interviewed a guy yesterday. And this guy ended up claiming that Erica Kirk was in the meeting with Brian Harpool to end Charlie Kirk's life a day before Charlie Kirk was ended. That he was there. He walked in on it. Now, here's the thing. He said that he was reported, report that. Yeah, I would definitely report it. But anyway, long story short, he made all these claims. Then we found out that this guy was not who he said he was, did not get let go from the military the way he said he got let go, by cartels coming after him. That didn't happen. And he was out of the military before he found these tunnels that led this cartel underground thing. It's not important. That apparently led the cartels to start coming after him. So he was not a part of this. She has not proven that she verified any of this meeting whatsoever taking place, and that Candace Owens has not verified that Erica Kirk was involved with this meeting, quote unquote, at all. She has not proven that Neff was there. She has not proven any of this stuff. And she's running it as an absolute fact. And everybody on the internet is coming, yeah, he's a convict. Apparently, well, I don't know if he's a convict. I think he is litigating that now, right? Or did that already happen? I actually don't know. But at a bare minimum, he's at least in court for domestic abuse. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if anything's come of that or if that was an older sentence. I'm just not sure at all. But I have seen that. Brian provided a plane ticket returning from Asia and in Texas on the day of the meeting. Really? Okay, I'll have to look at that.
Where we went live. I need to fill out more and a little bit more about his story, but givesendgo.com/Candace podcast to support him. And like I said, I got the.
Now she changed his name to For Mitch, helping Mitch to pay for some of his legal costs. Great. Mitch Snow. She called him Harry, what was his name? What was his last name? Harry Heine? Something like that. In the show, now she changed it to Mitch. Interesting.
Paperwork regarding his lawsuits, everything he said about being put on an NDA for 35 years. It is all real. It is all verified. Take my word on it. You don't have to send a bunch of emails.
No, I'm not going to take your word for it. You have never proven yourself worthy, ever, to have anybody take your word for it. You have been caught lying so many times. I am not believing your word on it, Candace. Show the proof or admit you're wrong. It's those two options.
Saying, well, maybe this sounds weird. How do you get into the
Myers, that's right.
Okay. Now, regarding Fort Huachuca and what it is, or who he believed that he saw, we told you.
He has 5 counts of domestic violence as of 2023. That's insane.
That he thought that he saw the congressman from Vegas, Mark Amadei. And I will say, regarding the call sign in Vegas, we keep telling you that call sign at various times says Sam 702 or RCH 702. Well, that's Vegas. 702 is Vegas. Talking just about area codes. Obviously, 702 is Vegas. So that could just be obviously a coincidence, but it becomes compelling. Well, Mark Amadei apparently received a ton of phone calls from his constituents who wanted to know where he was. Like,
Okay, well, I'm glad that I guess we're off Ben Shapiro completely now, aren't we? Are we off Ben Shapiro? What was all that about? This episode is what does Ben Shapiro know about Erica Kirk for Fort Hatcha? And all she did was just go, I had a crappy boss named Ben Shapiro, and he stank, and he's short, and I didn't like him. I violated my contract, by the way, but, you know, we're gonna move on from there. Great, Candace. Thank you for this episode. What did I waste my time for this? I thought you were gonna actually, like, give us some details on Ben Shapiro being involved, and now I'm disappointed.
Where were you actually on the morning of the 9th? I want to remind you guys, the meeting was concluding at 7:30. We verified his call logs. We verified everything. The meeting was concluding around 7:30 a.m. in the morning on the 9th on Fort Huachuca, at Fort Huachuca. So it is entirely possible, and as flight routes show for planes that did maybe perhaps were in attendance at this meeting, you can get back to D.C. You just can, obviously, in that time frame. Well, Mark Amadei tweeted this. He tweeted, for those of you information consumers who are stuck in practices of the old days, who prefer facts to dreams and falsehoods, take comfort knowing that in public service, there is this thing called the public record. The public record on September 8th indicates that I was...
It'd be funny if this was his middle name and his last name was just Ass. Then we could call him Mark Amadeus.
Returning to Washington, D.C. from my district and voting on the floor of the House of Representatives and on September 9th in a 12-hour markup in the House Appropriations Committee, of which I am a member, as well as voting on the House floor. Should you prefer video to the words of a member of the federal legislature, please feel free to view the House Appropriations Committee's recording of said event on that date. To quote Ronald Reagan, facts are stubborn things. Merry Christmas. So it's like, whoa, serving up. I was for 12 hours locked into this meeting. And so there I am. There's my alibi. Well, very quickly, the interneted and realized that actually he missed 2 of the roll calls that happened in the morning and that he was present in the evening or late afternoon. We are still working to verify that. I replied to that feed, but I can tell you what this person posted and showed. Diligent Denizen on X wrote, exposed. Rep. Mark Amadei tries and fails to give a solid alibi for the alleged September 9th meeting with Charlie Kirk's security, Brian Harpole. The rep claims to have been traveling to D.C. from his district on September 8th. Then in a committee meeting for 12 hours all day on the 9th. However, he was not present for roll call until the 3rd meeting in mid-afternoon on the 9th in D.C. This means he could have spent the night in Arizona on September 8th, attended the morning meeting on the 9th, and caught a military flight 3 to 4 hours away from the base to make it in time for the 3rd roll call in D.C. I can't believe you tried to act like you were there all day. Cooked. Cooked at the end there. And they were able to demonstrate, according to record, that he did miss 2 of the roll calls. Now, there might be a reason. Again, we are looking for follow-up, and our goal here is if he has an alibi and he was there on the floor for 12 hours, we would be obviously happy to say that. Like I said, we can confirm every aspect of Mitch's story, but we can't confirm his memory and whether or not he is good with facial recognition. But I do find it to be compelling for a few reasons. One is that I was actually given the travel logs for Brian Harpole, and it is entirely possible that Brian Harpole could have made it for that meeting. I can tell you that definitively. Brian Harpole could have made it to that base for that early morning meeting. There was no question. And obviously, in the interest of making sure that I'm not misrepresenting him, I have now reached out to Brian Harpole twice. I have his number because he was Charlie's security. And I went on tour with Charlie for years. Messaged
and was probably her security. That's probably why she has his number. Why would he give you her? Why would he give you your number? Like, why would he give you his number at all, ever, if you weren't, like, at all, like, using him for security? That's interesting. What would you have any reason to call this man for? That's a really interesting one, you know?
Him and know that he received it according to iMessage.
Yeah,
I messaged him
exactly.
again. I messaged him just so we're clear before we went live yesterday, and I messaged him again since, and I asked him, hey, look, we're only in the interest in telling the truth. If you were somewhere that morning, let us know, and we'll clarify that. You would think that he would jump at that opportunity because why would you want to have people even thinking or surmising that you could have been at this meeting when you can easily debunk it? We got crickets from him. Again, it could turn out that it was a Brian Harpole lookalike. It is totally plausible that he just mistook someone's identity, and I am totally open to that and just looking for more information.
I want proof that he was there. I want proof that he was there, and I want proof of what he saw. That's all, Candace. It shouldn't be that hard, right? Otherwise, yeah, you're right here. Could have been a lookalike. Also could have been that it didn't happen at all. And the fact that we know for sure his story is fake, I don't believe him.
There was one person who we are vetting who believes that they have evidence that the people that Mitch saw were in fact on that base on that date.
See how many viewers she's lost.
We will keep you guys obviously posted on that.
5.7 million.
Something else interesting happened.
I don't know if she's lost
I have been
not,
sending, just so you know, when I send Mitch stuff that's happening and I'm trying to guess who was there or who wasn't there, I don't give him the context when I send him pictures. So when he first described the congressman, described the person's height and their glasses, this or that, I had sent a few congressmen. He was like, no. And then we landed upon the Las Vegas congressman. We did not give him the name. I didn't know his name, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know why she would even accuse him of that at all either. It was a different guy that, yeah, he told us who packed the wound. How many people do you want inside of a wound that big? You know what I mean? Like, one guy is probably doing the job. Brian Harpole was probably pulling his legs down, or keeping his body downward, keeping the torso kind of up to keep that blood, you know what I mean, from all coming out. At least I would imagine.
Honest with you. And he went, that's the guy. So it was interesting. And of course, this was before we discovered the planes and the route to Las Vegas. So that was compelling. Yesterday, and genuinely because I was sitting down having a discussion at dinner with Johnny Yep, who runs Catholic for Catholics, and we were sort of discussing everything. And I get this text message from Skylar being like, Ben Shapiro's like on stage, just like calling you out again. I said to myself, what is his investment in this? Why do I feel like he's somewhere along the way implicated in something? Let me clarify, I'm not saying he murdered Charlie Kirk, but it doesn't matter if I said that either way. His whole style is to try to sue people out of the free markets because he can't win in the free markets. But yeah, I'm going, what is this? Why do I feel like there's a hook here? And at that time, someone had mentioned to me, hey, did you see what's going viral right now on X? Which is that Erica Kirk lied about having not dated anybody before Charlie Kirk. And actually, I knew that she had dated somebody before Charlie Kirk.
Actually,
and
I just remembered that I have knowledge on something that I just didn't think about ever before. Till now. That's amazing.
Known that she had made that claim, and people were starting to make all of these videos about it and wondering if she had misremembered or whether or not she was telling an intentional lie about her past. Now, what I can say is that there does seem to be disparity between her version of events and other people's version of events. Definitively at that meeting, obviously, I've already intimated that to you, like Andrew Colvett has a memory, Erica Kirk has a memory, and then the surgeon has a memory, right? I should also mention that the surgeon said, and again, this is through a third-party person, so it's not direct line between me and the surgeon, that he absolutely did not violate HIPAA when he suggested, hey, maybe it's a frangible bullet, but rather that it was a three-way call with him and Andrew and Erica. I don't know if he's telling the truth or if Erica's telling the truth and Andrew Colvett was flying blind. But, there's a disparity. And as I was looking at this, I sort of went, oh, wait, yeah, I do remember that Charlie told me about Cabot Phillips dating a girl. For some reason, I thought it was Sammy, the other girl that he had a crush on. And I was like, was it Erica? That's so funny. I'm trying to remember this. And then I saw a picture in somebody's TikTok of Cabot Phillips. I hadn't seen him in a very long time. He works for the Daily Wire. And he had a beard.
Turns out she was dating Mr. Benjamin Yahoo. The twist. Right? Benjamin Netanyahu? Is it, or is it Johnny Depp? Yeah, it could be Johnny Depp. Let's take guesses here.
And that was the thing that he kept saying to me, as this guy had a beard, he's around 37. Anyways, I sent him the picture of Cabot Phillips, and he says, yes, that's the person I remember being at the base. Now I'm like, that would be totally crazy. Maybe, again, this could be a lookalike. And so I messaged Cabot Phillips and did not get a response. I messaged Cabot Phillips twice today, actually, and asked him if he wanted to have an off-record conversation because we can't just take that to the bank. Like I said, I am terrible with faces. So if I saw Cabot Phillips, and I had to just from memory, there's 30,000 other people I would say it was definitely him too. And I can't trust Mitch's vision on this, but it at least is compelling. And I was like, let me do some basic fact checks here. What do I even know about this guy, Cabot Phillips? And I know that he does the Morning Wire up at Daily Wire. And I checked, and he's missing from the Morning Wire. He doesn't do it daily, but he does it enough times that I noticed that he is missing from September 4th to September 10th on that show. And so I am looking to see, to just debunk or remove him from the picture, that, and maybe to get a clearer understanding that maybe, Mitch thinks he remembers things. I mean, he's super detail oriented, telling me what kind of watch the person was wearing because he was like, I was going to go up to him and I was going to say something. But I'm going, I don't know anything about actually Cabot Phillips. And it was very difficult to find any information outside of his father, who I found a lot of information about, actually. He's a pretty big guy, taking a lot of money from the Adelsons. And definitely a neocon, I'll tell you that for free. So I thought, could this be the reason that, my back of my mind, could this be the reason that Ben's having some sort of a weird spiral? Does he know something? Or is this just a case, and it could be, just to be very clear, it could be a full case of Mitch misremembering, but I didn't give him the context. I didn't say this is Erica's ex-boyfriend from 2017. And I just found that to be interesting. And yeah, so I don't know what the reason would be to say that you didn't date someone. You did. And I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand that at all. And the internet did pull this up, which I think we can show that. Yes, we're that couple who gets painting lessons together. There's a lot of social media activity between her and his family. I was also really compelled by how close she is with her cousin, this Nicole Rothstein, who defends her in the comments currently, by the way, and says, Erica, people were asking why it seems like now there's this bend towards Israel. And Nicole Rothstein was like, I'm her cousin. She's half Jewish. I did not genuinely, I did know that she was part Jewish. I don't know about any of this at all.
What's the point of this? I don't understand. You were just like, oh, Erica dated somebody. I'm going to see if he's at the base. Oh, magically he was there at the base. Really? He's going to be involved. Her ex. He's going to be involved in this. Why, Candace? Are you trying to say that this was a love triangle? Is that what's happening now? Now we have a love triangle going on. Why would Israel need to get involved at all if it's Erica Kirk's love triangle? Why would the FBI let this guy involved? Why would Ukraine? Why would Egypt? Why would even the Mormon bee cults get this guy involved? Her ex-boyfriend, Candace. Do you, like, I'm so confused. Why would why would Ben Shapiro know this stuff and be involved as well? Her ex-boyfriend. What? Why? This is so much.
But it is interesting that they had a relationship. I don't know why that's being wiped from the memory. There's nothing wrong with having a relationship before you find love of your life at all. And so I'm hopeful that we can get some answers. And that's why I asked them publicly. When I can't get answers privately, I ask them publicly. Do you want to know why? Because I have a right to ask questions. And like I said, I don't like the way
you
Ben
do.
is.
You have a right to ask questions. I just don't like you pointing fingers, Candace. And that's the problem we have. We have a problem with you pointing fingers. That's the only problem I've ever had. Ask all the questions you want. Go down the rabbit hole. I don't care. I have no problem with it. Other people do, but I don't, Candace. I actually don't give a crap that you're questioning Israel or any of these people. The problem is it's just really, really funny to see you point the finger at people. You pointed the finger at Ben. Look at this title, guys. Look at this title. What does Ben Shapiro know about Erica Kirk and Fort Hoxha? And then she just goes on a tirade of how bad of a boss he was. That's it. That's all we got. Why did we waste our time with that? Now you're off the Ben Shapiro train, and you haven't mentioned at all anything that Ben Shapiro could possibly have information on when it comes to Fort Hoxha or what happened with Erica Kirk or the murder. Like, oh my God. All you did was rant about how awful of a boss he was. That's it. What are we doing here? Hey, Jordana, thank you so much for that. How does anyone think there is any authentic or valuable coming from Candy? Who would believe it? It's all BS, so gross. I'm agreeing. I'm very much in agreement right now because she literally just implicated Ben Shapiro as being fearful of Erica Kirk and all this other stuff. And then all she said was he was a garbage boss. Like, what am I supposed to do with that information, Candace? It's so ridiculous.
Signaling that he doesn't want people looking into Erica, okay? And when people start looking in, they then find that the Daily Wire employee dated her. So that seems interesting, to say the very least. And we should figure out, what's actually going on. Like, what is actually going on? He even says the Mossad. I never once said the Mossad killed Charlie Kirk, so was that by accident? Definitely starting to think in a major way that Israel's got something to do with killing Charlie Kirk and the Egyptian planes, which we are putting the final touches on.
How many times are you going to say this? I didn't say they did it, but I think they did it. Okay, Candace.
I don't want there to be even one typo or mistake on this that we're going to put up on our website. It leads you to Israel. It just does, okay? There's no question. That's why they were panicking about the Egyptian planes. Fort Huachuca is involved in lawsuits and sworn affidavits regarding 9/11. People who asserted.
Yes, I'm aware, CV, that Ben Shapiro is a Jew. Wait, what are you saying? Ben Shapiro is a little Jew bag, probably legit? Like, wait, I'm confused by that. Legit on what, though?
That the prepping for that took place. The vibes are vibing here at Fort Huachuca. The more I learn about Fort Huachuca, and that's why we open you guys to this investigation to send us tips. And I would like to focus you on what we would like to learn. If you have concrete evidence of what occurred at Fort Huachuca on the early morning of the 9th, we want to hear from you. We do not want an email about what Mitch did in 1993 and why you don't think he's a good person because he had a divorce with his wife. We just don't need that.
We don't need that. Is it because that information actually literally discredits him on how he got kicked out of the military? I mean, he was still honorably discharged. He got injured. You know what I mean? Like, I don't blame him for the way he got discharged. It's just not the way he said he got discharged at all. Which means he had nothing to do with the discovery of the tunnels. Okay? Like, he completely lied about that. He's got a bunch of domestic charges from 2023. I think, genuinely, that's not good, Candace, for your side at all, but you don't want to discuss that. You don't want to discuss any of that. Why did he lie about the tunnels? Why did he lie about his entire military career, Candace? And then you want us to just trust him and trust you that these people were at a meeting without any proof. When he lied about the biggest portion of the story, which was his military career. I'm so confused. Why would I trust that, Candace?
Do not want an email saying, I'm in the military. It would be unusual for them to allow him to book the hotel. We've already confirmed all of it. He has a literal video of him that's 18 minutes long asking for directions to get to where he's going. We can see in the background where he is. We don't want you to waste your time on that. We have verified everything we could verify about the story. We cannot
upload it anyway, Candace. Upload it separately, separate video, upload it. Waste their time with it. Just do that. If you don't want it to be a part of your live stream, upload it as a separate video. I'll go through it. How's that sound, Candace? Does that sound like we could work a deal out? Just upload it, get it out of the way. I'll watch the video. I'll show it to the entire audience, and then I can determine if it's legit or not, okay? How's that sound?
Verify the people, and yeah, I just sense that there's something there. Because Ben is coming undone, and he only comes undone about one topic, and that is Israel. So we will take a break, and I will answer some of your questions.
I mainly think she's a double agent, not through Israel, but through the left. She's always been a leftist. She's always pushed leftist ideology and was against Trump from the beginning.
Okay, you guys, reminding you, if you would like to purchase my book for Christmas, you can do so on Amazon now. You just add it to your
no thanks
cart, and
is
you'll
this the
absolutely love
messages
it. It really
part?
gets into the history of feminism and who. Where are you going, actually? Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to Fort Huachuca.
Oh, Mark. Okay. PTSD. Oh, shocking. Like, do you know how many of our veterans are diagnosed with PTSD because of what they lived through in the military? Like, what kind of a monster are you to even pull that up? No, why would
she's going through messages.
having your PTSD? He has people picking apart.
Hold on, what's the first message here?
Removed from the market because they can't compete. If the rules are fair, they would be nowhere. That's the Barry Weisses and Ben Shapiro's of the world. They would be absolutely nowhere. I mean, imagine having your dad babysit you and like write mean comments to people on the internet and you're like 45 years old. Like, what even are we talking about? Okay, top comment from last episode. Stephanie writes, why would this man willingly bring hell on himself if he was not telling the truth?
Wow. Okay. What a hard-hitting question. What a critically thinking question. Oh, well, why would people do that? Therefore, he's got to be telling the truth. I don't know. If he were telling the truth, why wouldn't he bring proof? Why wouldn't he want to show that? Why would he lie about his past? Why would he lie and cover up his domestic charges that he's gotten? Why? Why any of that if he were telling the truth? You see how easy it is to flip the script right on him? I don't understand. That's such a dumb question. I know there's really no such thing as stupid questions, but I could tell you 1,000 reasons why he isn't telling the truth. Fame, fortune, attention. Who knows? Who knows what this guy is trying to do, okay? I don't know. He could have 1,000 different motivations. Somebody could be paying him to do this. I don't know, Candace. This person, that's just such a dumb comment. I don't know. Oh, well. Her thing's over with. Let's see. What was this? Can you provide a video to your September 8th vote? Happy to update the record. What's this? Oh, I see. She's trying to get a hold of him. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Holy crap. Candace Owens just roasted Ben Shapiro for condemning her last night. Yeah. Okay. So why does him being bad mean he was involved with early? Oh, accidentally hit the space bar though. Just so weird. So weird. Where is you've got to be kidding me. Yeah. Here's something. Every time Ben speaks, I feel more certain Israel's involved. Yeah, this is hilarious. I'm glad he saw that. Oh, I'm on For You. I'm not on the latest things. That's annoying. Democrats are in panic tonight, and we know why. Oh, what's this? What's this? Ooh, what is this? This is interesting. Do we know why? Why? Mark safe from being in the released Bill Clinton files today. Are the Oh, did they do that? No. Did Trump release Bill Clinton files? Hold on. Oh, okay, here we go. Here's Candace Owens. I can click on her here. I have got to find out. Bill Clinton. Oh, this is actually crazy if this is the case. 2 hours ago, Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein's pool. Looking forward to the media, obviously, obsessively talking about how Bill Clinton was nearly, in a pool with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell? Wow. Wait, what do you mean nearly? I can see his swim trunks right here. She's wearing a normal bathing suit. You can see the stripes. I don't know what she's wearing, bathing suit. Yeah, no, he doesn't look like he's almost naked. What are you talking about? I'm all for condemning Bill Clinton. I don't like Bill Clinton at all. But, I mean, you could clearly see his swim trunks on. And he also why is he making that face? He looks like he's going, like, what is this face? He's really concentrating. He almost looks like he's pooping in the pool. I don't know what that's about. Hey, there he is with Michael Jackson. Cool. Okay. I don't know. We'll figure this out. Maybe more will come out. That's interesting, though. But nearly naked in a pool wearing swim trunks, I think, is pretty normal attire. But all right. But we all know they won't share these photos on TV or even mention them. They just want to get Trump. Oh, okay. Now this, no, I can see his trunks right here. He's fine. Yeah, they're easy to see. All right. Not the biggest deal there. The fact that Democrats and Legacy are radio silent over Epstein files after it was revealed Bill Clinton was routinely hanging out in private with victims is incredibly telling. Yeah, I think that is telling. Now, these are victims. Now, that's a different story with all these pictures. Are these actual victims, or are these, like, Michael Jackson's family? He does not look very impressed on being there. Why is he? Cannot get a read on Michael Jackson's face after all this was done to it. I just don't know what's going on there. Okay, so there's a victim right here. Okay. That's a different story. But why are we saying he was half naked? It's like he's just in swim trunks. There are thousands of Epstein files out there. Ton of photos show Bill Clinton with alleged victims and other women. Yeah, okay. Chris Tucker, Michael Jackson, Mick Jagger, Kevin Spacey, and plenty of other high-profile names. Dang it, that sucks. Oh, I was always hoping that Chris Tucker wouldn't be involved in that stuff. He's really funny. I like his stuff. I love Rush Hour. Quite a lot. Rush Hour 4 is coming out soon. It's going to make me sad if I'm not going to be able to watch it. Yeah, so he was there a lot. Yeah, we can clearly see it. Oh, that's Mick Jagger, isn't it? Wow. All right. Interesting. Bill Clinton right now. Yeah. Huh, it's an interesting story. Okay, we're going to get back to this now, though. Candace Owens, what else have you said today? Let's see. Okay, is there anything under replies? All right. And Mark, anyway, you can link a video to, okay, happy to vote, happy to record. Also, can you confirm what time you began the in-person voting on the 9th? She's just asking for all this. Can you prove yourself, but people have to debunk us also? Just interesting. Michael Jackson was like, where are the little boys for $5? Right. Yeah, I don't know. Was he into that or not? I mean, if he's hanging out on Epstein Island, it definitely does go to show that maybe Michael Jackson was not telling the truth, and maybe he wasn't set up. You know what I mean? If he's going to that, if he's going to that island there, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's pretty weird to me. It'd be pretty weird to me. Anybody going to that island, suspicious. And I know there's a lot of people out there who really, really, really are, like, thinking that that was all a conspiracy, stuff like that. I don't know that it was. How am I supposed to know that? So, you know, there's that. Can you send me wait, what? Ashley Montgomery, what? Oh, I got you. Are you talking about Candace? Let's see here. Whoever told little Benji to go max done effed up. Okay, so she hasn't really, yeah. She hasn't really talked about much. Okay. Well, I guess that's the end of Candace there. That's for sure. Maybe on, I'm thinking, let's see. The Ben Shapiro stuff, it's not, what's the latest? Just wanting to see what people are saying about him. Ben Shapiro spoke for about 30 minutes, while Tucker Carlson spoke for about 42 minutes. Oh. Okay. What are they saying? What are they trying to say here? Okay, reminder that while Charlie Kirk was still alive, he never had Ben Shapiro anywhere near the AmFest lineup for this year. Probably because he knew of the un-American BS Shapiro would peddle with that kind of platform. It's a shame how Ben Shapiro made it to that stage. Okay. And then this guy up here, Josh Hammer, says the morbidly obese Indian guy is lying about this, and I would know. Lying about what? Like that Charlie wouldn't have had him there. Charlie's tweet here is from August 26th. On September 2nd, Charlie and I messaged for the final time about this. He fully agreed that Ben should have equal AmFest 2025 airtime as Tucker. He was fully supportive. Okay. And looks like Tucker got more time than, yeah. Okay, so it seems fair. I don't understand. It's unfair to Ben a little bit, but I don't know. What's the problem? Just interesting. Yeah, I don't know. People will, they'll be upset over anything, to be honest. Let's see. People should leave a comment under TRHL video explaining things about Candace. Let's see here.
The way that all of these
right. I agree. We should all go there. Let's flood her YouTube channel. Let's go here to the Redhead Libertarian. I'll put the link right here just in case for some reason it didn't come through on Madness. I'm sure it will because you're a mod, but you just never know with YouTube. So you guys should go there, give her a like, give her a comment, say already sent you, and say, good take. You know what I mean? I understand that, she's not completely condemning Candace and whatnot, but I mean, she does have questions. We're allowed to have questions. But the problem is honestly, Candace is pointing the finger too much. Genuinely pointing the finger too much. And that's not appropriate. You shouldn't be blaming people without evidence. It's just crazy to me that she just blamed Ben Shapiro for what happened to Charlie Kirk, saying that he's involved with it without any evidence whatsoever. It's pretty disgusting, honestly. Let's see. Bunch of those Candace Patriots and all that. Wonder if mine comment is under a vid. Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, you're right here. Let's see. Oh, well, I appreciate that. I've talked to her in the past. Not that long ago. I showed her a video I did, and she liked it, which was super cool. It was a video over her arguing with Cat Turd that I did over. It was really funny. Yeah. She's an Israeli double agent. She's telling the fact. I don't know if she's. I don't know what kind of agent Candace is, but I do know one thing. She comes from the left, and she's defending the left right now. So that's all I can go off of. Their social autopsy, her extreme Trump hatred. She hates Trump now. It's just like, oh, I've seen these patterns before from her. Yeah, it's weird that Tucker is going pro-Islam. I find that to be weird. I just don't trust it. But anyway, guys, I am, if you guys couldn't tell, I've been up since, well, pretty much midnight. And it's a few hours until midnight now. It's 7 p.m. here. I'm running down on fumes, and luckily, I don't got to work tomorrow, but I won't be able to live stream tomorrow, unfortunately, because, family, Christmas with the in-laws and whatnot. Kids get to see their aunt and uncle. They're going to have a lot of fun, and just, it's going to be a good time tomorrow, but I just won't have any time to, unfortunately, be able to live stream. Let's see. The Redhead Libertarian, you talk a lot about Constitution libertarianism. She makes amazing pies. Oh, I've seen her pies. I've seen that she bakes a lot of pies. I want to use one of her pie recipes, and I want to put it in my smoker. Unfortunately, my freaking smoker went out. Go figure. Just my luck, So it is what it is. I don't know. I'll have to try and take it apart and see if the igniter's working at all. And if it's not working, gotta replace it. Just it's freaking pain in the butt. But, just happens. Thank you all so much for being here. Genuinely. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to all the people let me thank again the people who have super chatted. Summer, thank you so much. Scar, thank you. And Jordana, thank you guys so much for all that. Like, genuinely, you all are amazing. Everybody in chat here, Ashley, Erica, Ashlyn, Vex, Miss English Tea, Frog Dog, Madness, of course, CT, Pete, let's see, is there anybody else in here right now? Of course, I think I've already said Ashley, Ashland, some other version of Ashley, probably. Yeah, because there's like 10 different Ashley names out there. Tex Andy, lots and lots of different variants of Ashley. That's for sure. That's funny. Ashley, from Evil Dead, Tammy, yep, pulling the race card. Angelina, thank you all so much for being here. Genuinely, thank you guys. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I will see you guys maybe Sunday. I'll try to upload videos on Saturday. Don't get me wrong. This guy wants to be Penguin Zero so bad. No, not really. I actually unfollowed Penguin Zero for a couple things that he had said that I thought were really dumb. Can't remember what it was though. It was like a year ago. But yeah, I used to like him. Used to like his stuff. Then he went full artard. So I don't know what happened. Already go more emotions than Moist will ever have. Hope so. Right now I'm super tired. Factory work sucks, but is what it is. You know. Anyway. Share the pie with you guys? Yeah, absolutely. I'll upload a video. If I smoke a pie, I will definitely upload a video on it. I should start uploading a little bit more, like, you know, fun home stuff that I do every now and then. Like every 2 hours. Like, I smoke a good pork butt. I'll do it for about 18 hours. 16 to 18 hours. It is the greatest tasting thing ever. And with my smoker out, I can't do that. So it sucks. Whatever. I may have to get a new smoker or something. I'm not sure yet, but one of these days we'll upgrade. It'll be fine. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for being here. If you're new here, please give me a like and please give me a subscribe. You know, I just ask for those two things is all. And yeah, guys, I will see you all here in the next one. Later. Oh, what is this not going to work for real?